Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Ballchat. Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ballchat Podcast, the show where we review some of the week's major news in the world of football, aka the Americans call it soccer. My name is Benton. He's Junior. Wagwan family, come on out a road a morn, but she will join us when she's at peace. But how you doing, family?
Well, hey, let me tell you something. If I was a gambler, this would have been the weekend when I would contemplate going over Causeway Bridge and jump over. Be like, this will have been the weekend of do it. All of a sudden, I'm over pick lose.
Don't do that. We don't want you to do that. Don't want to do that. Just stay on land, family. Stay with the feet firmly planted on the land. You know, Rasta chatting show. You know, football lovers, ballers and bugs segment is gonna lead off the top of the show. We're going to celebrate the Spanish woman for winning over one of Junior's picks. That failed miserably this week over the Lioness of England. We'll discuss the Women's World Cup, get our final thoughts on the Women's World Cup assessment, tournament's performance. We look at the financial allocation, etc., and any sort of ramifications from people may or may not get their money. This is where the rubber hits the road. We'll also take a look at English Premier League. Jaja. Chelsea. Pochettino said he doesn't. We'll get exactly to what Mr. Pochettino said. Pochettino is a little bit ticked off. We'll get exactly into the statement as Chelsea lost. They were defeated by West Ham in the derby. We'll also take a look at Manchester United and find out what's going on over Old Trafford because things look shaky at best. We'll discuss transfer news and Jamaican footballers on the move. Big up to my baller, Atlanta Primus. We'll discuss Alison Swaby, Mr. Trevante Stewart, and others on the move, along with some other major news in the world of transfer, as the fancy baller, a.k.a. Neymar, has touched down in the Saudi League. Junior's favorite baller, Kili, made his return. And we cannot go a week. I would be remiss, Junior, if we don't touch. The Messi fans would come at me hard with machete and knives if I don't discuss the impressive Lionel Messi and becoming the most decorated footballer, trophy-wise, in the world of football, as Junior Scratches said. So we're going to kick it off with ballers and bugs. Top of the show, family. Let's get to our ballers and bugs, and let's start it off with ballers of the week. Junior, who do you have?
My first ball of the week goes to the king himself, Lionel Messi. The man leave PSG, and thankfully, when he was at PSG, and PSG was boasted to have the greatest three-pronged lineup ever, the King Leo Messi saved the world of football and didn't hold up his part of the bargain and moved on from PSG and now went to a bug Miami side, bottom of the table, no good Miami side. And as soon as the King Leo Messi reached, them win trophy. I mean, that's just greatness personified. The man decide when him going fire shot and when him not going fire shot. And the man come at MLS and I fire some shot in the cup. So big up Messi. Now also I'm going to West Ham because what West Ham do to Chelsea today is more than a 3-1 beating. It is going down to 10 men with 30 minutes leaving the game, up 2-1, and you still finish 3-1. I finished comfortably 3-1. Yes, Chelsea had chances, but we'll talk about that later. David Moyes and company seem to have right to the ship. It's still early days, tongue-in-cheek, really, but it's still early days. And another baller is what happened, the ramifications of the Women's World Cup. The Women's World Cup was a spectacle. I said it halfway through the first round that the Women's World Cup could possibly be more exciting than the Men's World Cup. A lot of them laugh after me and say, foolishness my talk. Well, let's revisit that statement now. It's the end of the Women's World Cup. I think, apart from the final of the Men's World Cup, the Women's World Cup topped the Men's World Cup this year in terms of intrigue, in terms of parity, in terms of style of play. Every team seems to have their own style of play. Football feels right with the women this World Cup. I have to big them up, and I love the fact that you so talk about it, Benton. I love the fact that a lot of the players are getting signed. You're a big baller, Alison Swaby gets signed. And we know the debacle. I think it was PSG, but she decided the PSG and now play. But now she really get to somewhere. So happy for she, and big up to all the players them that are cashing in on a successful Women's World Cup.
Big up to the family. BM says big up Ballchat. Salute. Salute BM always. El Pistolero up, 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 up. Liverpool running in. Big up to El Pistolero. Ballers of the week for El Pistolero are Bailey and Messi. Bailey had an exceptional game. We'll discuss that later on. And yeah, just go and give Bailey a ball of the week. BM's Reggie says ballers only to the ladies this week. Spain boss this tournament and have shown that they are now the team to beat on the women's side. Salma Paraleos. Is boy, me have to go back to Spanish class. Is a joy to watch and a certified baller. All right, Ballers and Bug segment, football family. We're going to keep it running. My Ballers, football family, if you're new to the show, yeah, we always have to read this disclaimer. If you're new to the show, Ballers and Ballchat is about live, interactive discussion, a fan-oriented be a show where we focus on interaction with fans, a safe space, no sort of bad mouthing or no sort of heavy beating or heavy criticism. So if you're new to the show, it's all about football. If you have comments or questions or have ballers, impressive players of the week, drop them on. If you have bugs, unimpressive players, send them on. Ballers of the week for me, Junior. How could it not be the one, Mr. Bissouma of Spurs? Bissouma failed miserably on the one, Mr. Antonio Conte. Bissouma has found new life in that Spurs midfield. Fantastic display. Even Bissouma was doing stepovers yesterday against Manchester United. This is how good a game he had. He bossed that midfield. So Bissouma gets a baller of the week. Sam Kerr, baller to Sam Kerr. Sam scored a magnificent goal in the semi-final, even though they end up lost to England. But baller of the week to Sam Kerr. Bomate, Spain number 6 in that midfield. General. Keep the ball rolling. Keep the ball rolling in that midfield. Aintana Bomate, baller of the week for me. But my biggest baller, Junior, biggest baller I want to give to Jack Grealish. And here's the reason why. It's not necessarily because of his play on the field. In the Spanish Super Cup medal ceremony, players went up to collect their medals. And, you have dignitaries, officials of UEFA handing out the medals. This is after Man City defeated Sevilla in that game. There was a young lady, a little girl there on the stage that was being ignored by some Man City players. There are reports that she's, there's some sort of hearing impaired or visual impaired that's going on with this child, but she's on the stage. Jack Grealish took the moment, took the time to acknowledge this young lady, converse, interacted with this young lady on the stage. Alexander Zephyrin, the president of UEFA, grabbed his arm and tried to move Jack Grealish along. But he said no. He took the time to spend some time and interact with this child on the stage. Baller of the week. A human experience. It's not about his football. It's about this idea of interacting with people, whether you are dignitaries or a child, aka Pitney. Big up yourself, Jack Grealish. You get a baller of the week for me. My baller for showing some level of compassion and respect, most importantly, in that celebratory moment. Because most of the others move on, including Junior's baller, Erling Haaland. Bugs of the week, family. Junior, unimpressive players of the week. Whole heap of comments, send on your comments coming in. BM says regarding Messi, some would argue MLS is a proper professional league. If MLS is a proper professional league, we'll get to that in a second. BM says he's happy England lost, can't stand them. BM also says, no, Junior, there's no way the Women's World Cup top the men's. That's a crazy talk. Yan Adoa, big up yourself. Good afternoon, everyone. Heal up, Yan. Yan Adoa. Wayan Adoa. I hope I'm not butchering the name. And Reggie says, big up to Jack Grealish. Big up to Jack Grealish. Junior, bugs of the week. Unimpressive players, family.
Facing bugs, my bugs of the week. Again, it's too early. And not because Manu win a lucky game and get them penny pot the second game.
Yeah, just give you bug of the week and stop
Hold on, we give you context. I won't go overboard with wins and losses right now. It's still early in the season. But whoever is behind the Calcedo instantly throwing in on the field for Chelsea, when Potter was there, Potter did that with all of his transfers. And it seems like Pochettino is supposed to be a sensible coach. It seems like this is coming from above. And up top, don't know football. Whoever is behind throwing Calcedo out in the game today is idiotic. It's stupidity at the highest level. Chelsea have so many ballers that they brought in. There was no need to put Calcedo in a position like they did today. So I'm not going to give Calcedo bug of the week. But whoever is behind making that decision for Calcedo to go out there with what? One training session on them belt? One walkthrough? You expect to go out there and play English Premier League football at the highest level? Damn foolishness. Foolishness. My last ever bug of the week. I promise you, if me do this again, people, or to remind me, I'm gonna buy everybody a bag juice so I watch the show that day. My last time giving this player bug of the week. Harry the Fridge Maguire. Dirty Maguire. You should have been played for West Ham today. We don't tell you to go to West Ham. Go out of West Ham so we can get with midfielder Harry Maguire. So we can get with forward Harry Maguire. No. You feel like, sir, just because a 35 million, it is beneath you, and you are going to stay at Manchester. Dude, you're not even fourth on the list. Listen to me. I'm so angry with Harry Maguire right now because he's the reason why Manchester United is in shambles. We have to sell to buy. That 35 million could have bring in Arabat, could have bring in my boy from Bayern Munich. What name? His name starts P. The defender.
Pavard.
Right now, I will take back Lukaku and Manchester United, but we can't take Lukaku. Why? Because Harry freaking Maguire don't want to leave Manchester. Listen, man, my blood pressure will go up. Let's stop.
You know, a public service announcement from those of us here at Ballchat. The Junior is angry. When he gets angry, he speaks loudly. You know, it's just look sideways on this one, family. We don't know, say he's ticked off. So just look sideways. He will turn down his microphone because he just wanted to convince us.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but turn up your...
I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize.
All right, turn up your microphone a little bit more.
Harry Maguire gets my bug of the week because he refuses to leave.
No, you can't turn back up your microphone. All right, Ballers and Bugs segment. Football family, unimpressive players of the week. Chelsea. I mean, come on. We'll discuss Chelsea versus West Ham in more details later on in the show, but ultimately, you know, Graham Lasso said something, and normally Graham Lasso I don't agree with a lot of his positions, or some side, you know. I think Lee Dixon in the commentary booth does have a bit more football knowledge when it comes to it. But Graham Lasalle said, quote, "You cannot buy passion," end quote. And I thought that statement was profound. To think that Chelsea lost a football game against West Ham, who played a man down at, what, minute 67 in the football game. It's not only the way is losing a game is part and parcel for the course, but the way you lose the ball game. Mudryk, $100 million baller, looked like a straight bug. Moises Caicedo was not. I mean, granted, he just arrived, but he has played in the EPL. Decision making was poor. Enzo Fernandez, that piss poor penalty. Chelsea Football Club. Them need a washout. Them need a cleanse. Them need a mineral bath, aka for the non-Jamaican listeners. Somebody has put an X on Chelsea Football Club, and they need to go somewhere to get that X removed. Something. Jamaicans would have said, yo, go wash off the saltness, because clearly something is totally. Last week we sat here and said Chelsea looks promising, and this week is just the inconsistencies remain. It's quite prevalent. Bug of the week again. The biggest bug. Biggest bug. We're just going to make the shot. The president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, in his closing address to the Women's World Cup, said, quote, "Pick the right battles. You have the power to change. You have the power to convince us men what we have to do and what we don't have to do. Just do it. With men, with FIFA, you'll find open doors. Just push the doors." End quote. Yo, the president of FIFA gave that speech and included that section in his speech at the closing ceremony of the Women's Football World Cup. Not the closing ceremony, the closing address from the president of the organizing body is representative of what is wrong with the development and the growth of the women's side of the sport. Brother, just invest in the sport and shut up. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. That PR department, who write these speeches? Bugs. Infantino read that and decided to follow through and actually read that. Bug. We're done. All right, football game now. Let's get into the meat of the matter and get, because football family, full disclosure, Junior, aka Manchester United fan, is cooking curry goat for dinner. And this is not a metaphor regarding Messi. He's cooking curry goat, and he doesn't want his goat to burn. So we're going to keep it short and sweet. But we have
curry goat with basmati rice, sliced tomato, and some pear.
You can't ask for nothing better than that. But we have to start nowhere else but the FIFA Women's World Cup, Junior. We're going to start off there, so with what transpired. 1-0 for Spain. Your thoughts on the game, your assessment on what transpired in this football game, family.
I think I was carrying England, so I watched England closely through the World Cup. And apart from their round, because I think England was in the group of that. And coming out of their round, I think they had an easier road through the knockout to the finals than Spain, right? Now, the game is played today. The game is not played over the course of 2-3 weeks, but you are prepared for your last game based on what you do in the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks. I think England played a good game, but Spain just seemed to be a little bit more sharper than England. Spain, to me, seemed like, if not wanted it more, it's just that they were just a step quicker. It wasn't that England was playing catch-up. It's just that it was just that little small difference is what caused the difference in the game for the 1-0. I think it was a great game. I think it was a very technical game. I think it was a game between two teams. One wanted to keep the possession of the ball and be patient, while the other one wanted to keep possession of the ball but wanted to get fouled quickly in England. And what Spain did was they basically tired out England. And I don't think England really had a second punch to throw. So hats off to Spain. We started out in the World Cup preview. Remember, we talked at the World Cup preview, and my thing about Spain was, can the Barca women transfer the club to the national stage? And the answer is yes. I also think England had a great World Cup. I think England proved that the Euros was not a fluke, and it's just they got beaten by the better team, and that's it there.
Yeah, the way, of course, the winning goal was scored by Olga Carbmona. You know what, man? Big up Reggie. Reggie said Bugs, Manchester United looking sloppy, and Chelsea are disconnected and lost to 10 man West Ham. The first half of Spain play was outstanding.
Yes.
Was absolutely outstanding. I mean, when you talk about ball passing and possession football and moving into space, it's nothing complicated about what Spain is doing. It's just that their players are well conditioned and well programmed to play the system. And of course, that has to start from a very, very young age. The technical ability, the passing game, excellent. I mean, England made adjustments, and big up to coach Serena Wegman, who made the adjustments at halftime. She brought in Lauren James, and she went to a back four because the back three was getting killed. Big up to Jess Carter. Big up to Mary Earps in that goal. In fact, Mary Earps won the Golden Glove award for the World Cup, and she was a brick wall. Well, a brick wall with a small brick missing with the one goal that scored. But she was outstanding in goal, Junior. She saved that PK,
Yes.
and she made some huge saves for England. And Spain victorious at the U17 Women's World Cup in 2018, victorious at the U20 Women's World Cup in 2022. A bag of cascas are disagreement in the women's senior team coming into this World Cup. Players left at home or decided to remove themselves from the setup. And here you have a team who was able to win this World Cup with, some would say, a B team. But that's how impressive their depth is. So, impressive display. And, you know, Japan defeated them, four in the group? I think they defeated four.
Yeah, I think it was 4-2 or something like that.
Yes, I think Japan scored 4 goals on them. And that was always one of the questions I had coming in the World Cup. I picked Japan to win, and I said if Japan don't win, Spain was going to win. Because they're just passing. The passing aspect of this game I thought was favorable for either team. Defensively, Spain was a concern coming into this game. But they put the life on the line when it came to defending that 1-0. And so, a big, massive credit to them. They've joined Germany as the only other women team, as the only other nation to win both men and women's World Cup. You know, so big up. Spain won the men's World Cup in 2010, and now they put the senior women's World Cup in the lockout family. They're doing something right. Overall, all right, let's go through some of the awards for this tournament, family, and get your thoughts before we wrap up on our final recap on this World Cup. You've already mentioned some of it. Young player, Golden Boot went to Hanata Maya. Hanata scored 5 goals. Miyazawa, young junior, I guess, for Hanata and Japan and coach Akaida is probably thinking what could have been, knowing that they ran Spain off the field.
Yeah, but then your ball at Colombia have a say as well, right?
Yeah.
Because Japan and I actually do have an issue with it. There's no wrong answer. All the answers are right. There's no wrong answer. I think Inata was one of the best young players out there. You had other great young players out there as well. But I agree.
Yeah. BM
I
says
want to
if we're
step, but I bring up your Colombian baller, but it wouldn't be fair to hear that.
no, so Hanata won the most goals. So she had what, 5 goals. So
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was like an MVP.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. This is golden boot award. BM says if we were being honest, England were lucky to get to the finals. Nigeria and Colombia both bottled it against them.
Bottled is a strong word, BM, but I get it. You don't like England. A lot of us don't like England football team. But bottled is a strong word, BM.
Um, you know what? I will say this. Luck, you create your own luck. And maybe this is the political answer. You create your own luck. But, there were times in that game against Colombia when I thought, wow. I mean, of course, we remember that goal from Lacey Santos of Colombia. And that goalkeeper Perez with that just idiotic, let me find goalkeeper Perez, Catalina Perez, and just say, you need to get deported. Deport her to Venezuela or somewhere else. Because that was just the craziest blunder in that game.
Yes.
So,
But
yeah.
battle do better. Battle.
No, I wouldn't say bottled, they bottled it. The pressure got turned up because England was really pushing them. Bon Mate got the Golden Ball Award, player of the tournament. I mean, a general.
I have no issues with that either. That true number 6.
True number six. Golden Glove Award went to Mary Earps. Again, these awards align with what we have seen, right, from women's football. And I mean, Mary has been outstanding between the sticks for the Three Lions. So, par for the course. She saved some big goals today. Young Player of the Award family, Salma Paralio. Junior, this player has won the World Cup, the U17 World Cup, the U20 World Cup, and now a Senior Women's World Cup at 19 years old, Junior.
Is this a lifetime achievement award?
At 19 years old.
But if you remove her, does Spain still win?
Yeah, I think they have others. They have a player
right.
like a Vicky Lopez, but and who's also another young player who's outstanding. She's not a part of the squad, but wow, big up to her and ultimately the success of the team. Overall, Junior, before we step away from the Women's World Cup, let's final about. I mean, the Reggae Girls had a great tournament. A great tournament.
It's what I shied aware of because I was living in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And we achieved heights this World Cup.
Yeah.
Jamaica women team. But great World Cup, it will go through a whole World Cup campaign, make it to the second round, and only have 1 goal scored by our best defender. We can't jump and say, hey, we have a great World Cup. When we look back at it, we can say that we were fortunate to be in the position that we're in, and fortune smiled on us in a couple of games. And I'm not hating. Right? I think we've taken a step forward for the last World Cup. I think there's progress there. I think that there's some serious questions need to be asked, though. Like some difficult, serious questions need to be asked for us to move forward. How do we take the next step? That's a serious question. It's not an easy answer, and some people might like the answers that some people give, and some people going to hear the answers that other people give. But I'll just say go.
Yeah, and the ultimate reason why I said it was great is just the achievement. The simple fact that I didn't have Jamaica in the final, in the round of 16, escaping the group. And so they were able to navigate out of that group. The other things that you mentioned are well documented. You can go to a tournament, have your big on-field general sweeper being your leading goal scorer. So those are things that hopefully we'll get to talk to Coach Lauren Donaldson at some point as they get ready for Olympic qualifiers. BM says if Jamaica got to the round of BM says the 18 for Spain, which is Salma Parello and Linda Casedo for Colombia, are the future of the faces of the women's game. Two generals, two ballers. I think Vicky Lopez is right there. And probably I rate Vicky Lopez a little bit more than Salma. BM also says if Jamaica got to the round of 16 with poor preparation and an awful federation, imagine if we were better prepared. This is true.
Well said. Well said.
Big up to Lauren, but the man, but he is the man to take us to the next level. Not sure, but is he the man to take us to the next level? And
that is a difficult question.
That is a difficult question.
And I'm a Lauren Donaldson fan, but that is a difficult question.
That is a difficult question. And again, the achievement of making it out of the group is something that you kind of have to say, when you assess what you're going to look for, if you're going to move on, can somebody else give you the same sort of level of achievement? And we don't know. We'll see what happens.
But isn't there a scenario where you can see Jamaica playing in a World Cup, Jamaica women's team playing in a World Cup, not making it to the second round, but come out feeling better than they do now? Like the next round of games is against Canada for the Olympic qualification, right? We have made it to the second round. Do I feel any more confident going up against Canada than I did prior to the World Cup? The answer is no.
I do.
And that's go ahead.
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, in fact, and again, preparation have a big influence on this. I've watched Canada this World Cup. Things are not great with Canada and Canadians Federation, and we don't want to go too wide into prepping and thinking about discussing the Olympic game against Jamaica and Canada. But just today, if this game was played today, Junior, I would be optimistic that Jamaica can get a result from Canada, home and away.
Yes, but true. Okay, yes, I agree.
There are a lot of things to happen between now and that game.
Exactly.
And I don't know. Let's
exactly.
Let's see. So
and motivation might be different.
Yeah. Yes, the motivation. The payout for the Women's World Cup. There was a lot of injection of cash according to Infantino, president of FIFA. We just want to remind the listeners of the allocation of funds and the breakdown. The Champions Association gets 4.29 million. Each player of the winning team, the winning Spanish team, will get $270,000 for a total of 10.5 million. That goes to that entire federation players all combined. Runners up 3 million. Players get gets 195,000. The third place association get 2.6 million. Each player get 180,000. Fourth place 2.4, and the players get 100. The association gets 2.4. The players get of the fourth place team. The association gets 2.4. Players get 165,000. And fifth through eighth, 2.1 million. And for the association, players get 90,000. And 9 through 16, 1.87 million for the association and 60,000 for each player. 17 through 32, 1.56 million for the association and 30,000 for each player. So a total prize money in 110 million. The Reggae Girls got 60,000 each. That should be the big takeaway here. And so now we have to watch the space and see what transpire with the allocation of these funds. I just want to reiterate a big thing about the allocation of the funds to the players. FIFA President Infantino announced the players' payment would still be paid to the association and that FIFA planned to audit the association to make sure the money got to the players. Football Administration Leeds Clannis expressed concern over whether those players were going to get their money, and is it FIFA reneging on players get their money. Infantino did admit during the tournament that FIFA had simply made recommendations to the association on how much to pay players, and they could not reasonably check. So, Junior, are you still with us here? Because I know you may have gone to check on your curry chicken. Your camera went off. You turned your camera off.
I'm back now.
Okay. But you're not on camera though.
I should be.
Yeah. But we are hearing your audio, so we'll see if we can get you back on camera. But any thoughts on this, Junior, and this, how to actually make sure these players get their funds, family?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna be blunt. I know, it's a third camera on Benton. So, I don't know if that would help. But I wish I was on camera to set it so we can look dead in the camera and just be as blunt as I can be.
Okay. I'll work on getting you on camera.
It's very simple. It's I choose my words. So for those who can't see me, I'm looking in the sky right now, making sure that I pick the correct words that I'm about to say. So I piss off all of the people that need to be pissed off. The reality is, if we come back after this and hear that the reggae girls don't get them money, or them have some money issues, or something going on, or blah, 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 I'm going to say I don't want to hear it. And I don't want to hear about who not get them money. I don't want to hear the issues that they going to go on with passing out the money. I don't want to hear nothing like that. It is as clear as day. FIFA is going to transfer $60,000 per player. They know how many players are there. Jamaican Federation know how many players are there. So hear what? FIFA, here is my cash app. Send me the money. As soon as I get the money, I'm instantly going to go like this. Transfer 60,000 to blah. 60,000 to blah. 60,000 to blah. That's how it should go.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that. There should be no issues. We don't want to hear who don't get them money. We don't want to hear none of that. The girls them earn them money, pay them money. And if they don't get their money, they have to foot some of the blame because them sit down and allow JFF to thief the money.
BM says, never mind if JFF get the money, the girls not seeing the money. And this is where, we're going, Jensek, Dennis Chung, I'm going to paraphrase here, did make a commitment that the reggae girls will get their money, if I remember doing an interview. But we've heard those things before. So talk is cheap. Action is the most important thing. But it's not just about the reggae girls. It's all the teams that competed in this tournament, all the players who competed in this tournament. It doesn't matter what group you exited. You're guaranteed a minimum of $30,000 per player. So whether you are Zambia, or reggae girls, or England, or Spain, FIFA have a responsibility to make sure those players get their money.
You know what the sad thing is though?
Yes, go ahead, Junior.
The sad thing is that 60,000 after taxes is not much.
No, well, but it's more than most.
More than nothing.
So it's all relative. All relative around here, and so. Final thoughts on the Women's World Cup before we go to English Premier League football, family.
I think it was a successful event. BM disagreed with me and saying that it can't compare to the Men's World Cup, and that's fine. I will respect that comment. But for me, I enjoyed watching the games more because for me, when I watch the men's game, I've seen the same 4-3-3 formation going up against everybody. I don't see that in the women's game. Some teams play with 2 strikers, some teams play with 1 striker, some teams play with three out-and-out attackers. The variation of football was nice to see.
Yes, variation was there. Definitely good to see a different
Look, see,
approach.
BM a teach you a lesson, huh?
Huh?
BM is teaching you a lesson.
Yeah. All right, let's go to English Premier League football family and take a look at this weekend's action in the English Premier League. Junior, where do we begin? The scores for this weekend's results. Aston Villa batter Bruce Everton 4-0. Leon Bailey, awesome game. Probably best game, and this is what you need from Leon. Scored a goal, assisted another. Actually, probably was instrumental in the setting up of the penalty because he was the one who headed the ball down to one Mr. Ollie Watkins that got cleaned out by Mr. Jordan Pickford. West Ham defeated Chelsea 3-1. Brentford yesterday defeated Fulham 3-0. Liverpool 3-1 over Bournemouth. 4-1 for Brighton over Wolves. Spurs 2-0 Man United. Man City 1-0 over Newcastle. Nottingham Forest 2-1 over Sheffield United family. Thoughts on this weekend's results and big takeaways from the EPL results family?
Man City keeps on Man Citying, but with a red flag is out there. I think there's a warning. The warning signs for Man City is probably dimly flashing yellow, but it not go off as yet. Warning signs out there for Manchester United. I think there's warning signs out there for Liverpool as well. I think that 3-1 win is you save some blushes, Liverpool fans. But to me, Brentford beating Fulham 3-0 after what Fulham did last week when they beat Everton at Merseyside at Everton. That to me is somewhat of an impressive result as well.
All right, let's get a little bit more granular and take a look at a couple of games, family. Spurs, Manchester United, 2-0. Angeball, a.k.a. Angie Postecoglou, the new coach at Spurs. Junior, it looks good. It looks good. They've gotten 4 points from 2 games. Drew the first game against Brentford. Your thoughts on this football game? First, the Spurs ball of pushing, pressing high up the field, squeezing, trying to force teams into mistake. And then Manchester United, your assessment from the Manchester United perspective.
All right, so it's for the Manchester United perspective first.
Yeah, let's start with the Spurs perspective, brother. With Manchester United, we'll get.
All right, so
this
is Spurs, and I'm saying this respectfully. That game reminded me of what a scrimmage game is on Sunday. Okay. A Sunday scrimmage game. I understand what I'm saying. There's no position. You just go out there and it's man versus man, right? Tottenham press high, Manchester United press high. So you literally have all 22 players spread out on the field at any given time. That translates to a wide open football game. That translates to a game where players can show them technical ability when they have the ball. And we saw some of that. I think it was a very good game. I think the difference of the game is Tottenham finished their couple chances. Manchester United was wasteful. Bruno had a goal that him should have head in and score. I don't know how he missed that. Rashford had a one-on-one breakaway. There were so many moments. Tottenham hit the post twice. Manchester United hit the post one time. So for both teams, it was a very good game. And again, understand what I'm saying when I say it reminds me of a scrimmage game. We're now playing a formation, let's go out there and roll ball. That is your man, don't make your man beat you. And that is how Tottenham approach it. That's the Antonio Conte way, to be honest. With a high press, heavy metal type football at some points. It's just that they were just better at it than Man U on the day.
Tottenham midfield, if they're gonna play that way, the midfield has to be good. And Papa Sarr, who scored a goal, was quite good yesterday for them. Suma was excellent, so it seems like they've found a midfield pairing. We joked about Højbjerg getting a lot of minutes ahead of Bissouma and Conte, and for whatever reason. But Bissouma looks like a baller. So let's see if he can remain healthy and remain healthy and see how that translates with what Spurs is trying to do. Now for Manchester United, Junior, Mason Mount in midfield, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro. The bad, the good, and the ugly for you with Manchester United. A few penalty calls probably were missed, and they were probably
Yeah, but it's makeup from last week. I mean,
calls for the Wolves game.
I think it was because we've seen penalties given for less.
Yeah.
But that's aside though. I think the midfield is all right. Mount to me is obviously a better version of Fred and McTominay and even Ericsson. I think Mount had a decent game. I think Bruno had a decent game. They're just not clicking. And I think the lack of a striker, a pure striker, because there were times where Bruno make better runs in the striking position than Rashford.
Okay.
There were times when Bruno played on the back of the shoulder of the last defender, make a run across his face and make a run, go trying to break out the goal. Rashford don't do that, and that's not what Rashford does. So that game kind of highlight what Manchester is missing. Man U is just missing a striker. That's all.
Do you just keep with Anthony Martial and wait till Hadjalon, Hodlon?
You do have a choice.
Or because clearly Rashford doesn't look too happy in that centre forward position either.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. It's not like them going to bring in Lukaku. I would at this point. I would bring in Lukaku, but yeah, leave the space open for the youth. Plus Greenwood. It would sound funny, but Greenwood could be back by January. You never know.
Yeah, Manchester United did put out a statement this week and said that they haven't made this decision based on media speculation. So I don't know why you need to put out a statement. We'll see. All right, Chelsea versus West Ham, family. Chelsea lost this football game. 3-1, West Ham defeated Chelsea. More worrisome for Chelsea are, in addition to the defeat, the one Mr. Chuameka picked up an injury, and he's probably was one of the brightest spot in this in the first two games for Chelsea. Your thoughts on this game? Agard scored and picked up a stupid red card. Mikel Antonio with a blast, bully ball, but powerful shot. The yellow card investigation faking man himself, Paqueta, scored a PK Junior.
Chelsea, for the record, Chelsea is one of the teams that I pick to do well. This year, I picked Chelsea to finish in the top two. I still think they can. When Potter was in this position, we sat on the show and said, is Potter the right man? Does the locker room respect Potter? Blah, 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 blah. Now the same question is going to be asked of Pochettino, but I think it's going to be asked a different result. Maybe because I'm a Pochettino fan. But I think the game today is bigger than what was on the field. I think the game today is the same Chelsea that we saw last year. Case in point, you're down 2-1. Forget about the Enzo penalty miss. You're down 2-1, and the opponent is going down to 10 men. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking the next 30 minutes is going to be a barrage, and Chelsea will eventually score again. But for West Ham to not only not give up a goal, but still go out there and find a penalty and score and win 3-1, that is the Chelsea of last year. And I think Pochettino has his hands really tied because it looked like it really bothered Chelsea.
Yeah, Pochettino says it's a type of game that's hard to explain, where you create more, you're the better team, but you lose, end quote. He was quite frustrated, and just like a lot of Chelsea fans are quite frustrated. Interestingly, we talk about passion, but I guess the game was up and down, and there were moments when you thought, okay, Chelsea is in the ascendancy and they will make these investments translate into a win. But it's almost like West Ham was doing the basics correctly, more consistently than Chelsea. And it took me back to a comment where Frank Lampard said last year when he was the interim. He said that we have to get back to doing the basic right. And maybe it's hard to probably just bring it down to something that's simple. But when things are not necessarily going your way, your fundamentals need to be tight, aka very good, and the basics need to be done properly as full tilt. So Pochettino and Chelsea has some work to do, family. Has some work to do.
A lot of work.
Now, last week we saw them against Liverpool. And
Yes.
Which of these is the representation of the true Chelsea in your mind? Is it somewhere in between? Or is it closer to what we saw against Liverpool or closer to what we saw today against West Ham?
I think the true Chelsea is yet to be found.
But
the current Chelsea that is very inconsistent, and you can't put out a new signing Caicedo and expect to win. You can't. You just can't. You just can't. It is to me. To me, that shows the dissension in the locker room. I remember Pochettino said it earlier, that if you don't feel like working for your spot, then the door is right there, the door is open, right?
Yeah, he reiterated that message this week. He said that, if a player is not satisfied or not happy or whatever, the door is wide open, something to paraphrase.
But then look at the timeline. Because the timeline actually match up. Because you're saying that knowing that you're about to bring in Caicedo, knowing that Caicedo going to go on the field, the first day he's available. So you have no fear, man. You have all of these players sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden Caicedo come in and walk right in on the side. Right? You can't do that. You run the risk of destroying the core of your football team. You run the risk of having dissension around the ranks, and I think Pochettino blundered. If he is the one that ultimately made the final decision, he had a blunder.
2 games in, of course, La Liga started. Scudetto also won't touch Scudetto or La Liga today. BM says you realize that all the reggae boys are in form in the EPL and couldn't put a few passes together against Mexico. Joke thing. Well, I guess we have to revisit that one. Junior, I want to highlight Liverpool's victory against Bournemouth. They went down 1-0. McAllister picked up a red card. And they signed Endo for the midfield. Endo made his debut. Junior, are things getting better for Liverpool based on this victory?
No, because it's a win that you expect Liverpool to have. Liverpool was down 1-0 in first 20-something minutes?
Yeah, they were down pretty early, yeah.
So the feeling wasn't all hunky-dory for the whole 90 minutes, right? So we have to stay within perspective. I think Liverpool is going to beat who they should beat. There's no question about that. Liverpool will continue to beat who they should beat. But can they step it up? And looking at Chelsea right now, and how Chelsea played today, what are the odds that Chelsea played similar or worse last week?
Similar. I don't even know, Joe. It's hard for me to figure out these teams.
Right. So that's why it's too early. So we're going to look back. We're going to look back a month from now. Pochettino has some work to do. Right? He has work to do. But we're going to look back later on in life and say, you remember when West Ham beat the brakes off of Chelsea? I remember Caicedo give the penalty. Look at the man playing now. So my only issue is Caicedo walking right into the side. I never like that.
Yeah, never like it. All right. Before we go on, we had some quick hits. Before we go on, we had also just some quick news to run through, and including transfer news. Messi became the most decorated footballer, Junior, decorated as in number of trophies. Football with 44 titles, family League Cup final, a penalty victory over Nashville SC. The man are enjoying ball game. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, as you said, him enjoying the ball game. But what is more impressive is that he's able to motivate a low-ranked Miami team and bring them to the top. Not him alone. You have Busquets there and other players. But it starts and ends with Messi.
Yeah. He's
a
straw that stirs that drink.
Right, and he did exactly what was needed to be done. And now Miami is on the verge of winning a title and can build some confidence going to the MLS.
Well, they won the League Cup. Now they pivot to MLS where they still bottom of the table in the East. Do they win the MLS, family?
Do they make the playoffs first?
Okay, all right.
Eventually Messi going to get tired, eventually Busquets going to get tired.
Yeah.
So I remember MLS is a grind.
Yeah, the MLS is a grind, war of attrition. So we'll see how that translates. But congrats to Messi, 44 titles. Yes. I think he passed the man, Mr. Danny Alves. Other quick hits, family. Some transfer news. Atlanta Primus moved to Southampton. Reggae Girls own Atlanta Primus now at Southampton. She will be playing for the Saints. Junior, your thoughts, family? All right, you don't have any thoughts. It's a big move, good for Atlanta, more ball game. She will get a check. In addition to that.
Yeah, but
Atlanta is the future, potentially the future of Jamaica's midfield. At her age, Atlanta Primus is the future. I'm going to reiterate. Atlanta Primus is the future of Jamaica's midfield, Reggae Girls midfield. So it's imperative to have her playing in a professional setting. Southampton is a start. If you can get another fancy transfer to a bigger club, time will tell.
Right.
Transfer news before you go check your Curry Goat, family. The one, Mr. Trevante Stewart, Yardman himself, moved to Salernitana, Tanana in the Scudetto. A big move, family.
Yes, I'm very happy for the young man. It shows that there's potential. It shows that there's growth, opportunity. It shows that there's a way for the youth to get up and make something out of them life. And the talent pool will only get better because of this, right? So going into the next World Cup, we continue to get stronger, continue to build. Players out there, strike the iron while it's still hot. You don't let the teams them cool down off on. Go out there, work on the butts off and get there. Get there and let's build up the program. That's it. Other than the personal gain of bringing in some money, I think right now the image of the program gets better, right?
Yep, image of the program gets better. BM says, I heard the women's championship is semi-pro, which where Atlanta Primus will play. But the important thing for Atlanta is just development. Continue to develop.
Get games and build IQ. It would be nice. It would have been nice if Atlanta could have been under something the wing. What's her name?
Emma Hayes.
No, but not Emma Hayes. Full big baller, man. Full big fielder. For Tottenham.
Drew Spence.
Drew Spence. Okay. It'd be nice if Atlanta Pirates can be around Drew Spence most of the year and just absorb some of the IQ.
26 years old, Atlanta Primus. Maybe one more World Cup.
That's why when you say she's the future,
The
future of the Reggae Girls played in Atlanta, played in high school.
Yeah, Salai, Washington, and Kiki. Yeah, those are the future. There's a future. BM says, do you think it's a big move? Yes. Trevante Moving to Salatina, Scudetto football, big move. Big move. You're playing in the first division in a competitive league, one of the top leagues. I mean, come on. Come on. Big move. I mean,
And he will not be allowed to leave in the middle of the night.
big move, big move. Junior, continuing our football roundup before we go over we yard. Alison Swaby, San Diego Wave, San Diego FC, ladies FC, put out that statement that Alison Swaby has been transferred to AC Milan. Reports coming out of Milan that is also occurred. The Anfield General family, this is good for her, right?
Yes, because now she get the
exposure. She's not playing a ball at San Diego anyway.
But she get the exposure that she needs, right?
Yeah, but she's played at Milan before, or was it Roma? She was with Roma.
Roma.
And then she went to PSG, and that never materialized.
That fell through the bottom.
Yeah,
but she get the exposure that she need. No, she right now, it's not Bonnie Shaw and the Reggae Girls. Right now we can't say the Reggae Girls because we are professionals amongst the ranks, right? So as long we can keep doing that, it will help the team. I'm not kick over the cascas right now, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
It's nice to have more recognized professionals out there that can sell some jersey.
Yes, it's important. These women, these ladies getting contracts and building, even though the money may not be what some would like, you're building on the profession, and players like, getting out there. Junior, before we go Maria, we have to touch this one quickly. Mr. Kylian Mbappe returned to the starting 11 for PSG and scored against Toulouse. Junior, how convenient it is that the fancy baller, aka Hollywood man, Mr. Neymar, moved to Al Hilal this week, and Kylian Mbappe is back in his 11 in the squad, scored a goal. Are these two things connected, family?
Of course they're connected. All right. For that joke aside, Mbappe grew up a Ronaldo fan, Cristiano Ronaldo fan, right?
Yes.
That means that he's also a fan of Real Madrid.
Yes, he said.
He waxes lyrically through his entourage that he's going to play for Real Madrid, right? So he won't be comfortable playing with one Barcelona legend and a player that went through the Barcelona system. It sounds funny, Benton, but I really think it is as petty as that. I really do. I think because he's a Ronaldo fan, he feels like he has to pick sides against Messi. I feel because Neymar went to play it for Barcelona, Mbappe as a Real Madrid fan is not supposed to like it. Leo Messi and Neymar. I really think it is that petty.
Is that petty?
I really think so.
I don't even know. The game ended 1-1 yesterday. The second tie game for Coach Luis Enrique and PSG. But of course, you get back Kylian Mbappe in the squad. He scored. Ousmane Dembele. They're making moves. And so once they have a finished article, we'll see how that translates on the field.
Yes.
To be honest with you, Junior, I am actually not sure that Kylian Mbappe will end up in Real Madrid. Let's see, because of historical issues, because it has fallen through the cracks, or fell through the last time. So until it's done, then I will say it's done. But I am not sure.
That's an interesting take, because now that means that he really is happy. Okay? That means he's going to re-sign at PSG. I don't think anybody is going to come with astronomical money for him. BM says, happy for Trivante. Do you guys think it's too big of a move, and also too many college players in the team?
Yep. So this is a good thing that the Reggae Girls are getting contracts. You want more of those players to get contracts. Transfer window will close the 31st of this month, so more moves will occur, Junior, before we go my way yard. Mitrovic is on his way from Fulham to Saudi League. A man called Hakim Ziyech is on his way to Galatasaray. Apparently, he finally was able to pass a medical. Anyone you're watching for as we go through another week, transfer week, up and coming, family. Does Thiago Alcantara remain in this Liverpool team? Or should Liverpool find a way to move him on?
Yeah, but can they move him on and bring in a suitable replacement in time? Probably not. So I probably have to live with him. I think Man U already have them striker. Is Paqueta, is he going to go to Manchester City?
Alright, it's a good question you just asked. I would love to see Paqueta in Man City because I think he's a player that will give them something extra in that midfield. Kovacic does not replace Ilkay Gundogan. Phil Foden was outstanding yesterday. Rodri, you still, and with the De Bruyne injury, Kevin De Bruyne injury, you need somebody else. So whether it's Paqueta or somebody else who can ball in that midfield for you. I don't expect Phil Foden to be that guy throughout the year. Now you have Bernardo Silva, who they just extended, who's that next is heir apparent, right? So, but Paqueta would be quite beneficial for them, I think.
Yeah, Bernardo's style of play don't really fit. It fits Manchester City, but it doesn't fit the room left by Gundogan and
you need
Kevin
somebody to pass, to be a pass master, pass master.
Right.
And with speaking of Paqueta, this yellow card investigation, football family who are unaware, the FA, according to multiple reports, are investigating Paqueta. Allegedly, people associated to Paqueta placed bets. A large number of bets were placed, allegedly, for him to pick up a yellow card. And Paqueta did get a yellow card. Junior, this some kind of...
something fishy is there. I think it requires a thorough investigation, though, because it's not like Paqueta it's not like he's a low... He's not a low-paid player, right?
Yeah, them man are supposed to do them
right, so something all right, Benton. And normally we run joke, but we don't want to run a joke and it end up being a serious joke. But I really hope the authorities get involved quickly because when I heard the story and you saw the proof, you're like, yeah, it really does look like he's gambling. And then the obvious question afterwards is, why? What is it out there that you desire that you can't afford right now? So there's something else there, Benton, and let's leave it alone.
There's something else. So we'll watch that space, family, and keep you up to date on what will happen. And that may have just ruined his potential transfer to Man City, right? Right, Junior?
Nope.
You don't think so? So you think he ends up at Man City?
Yeah, I mean, you see, all right. If he doesn't go to Man City, I don't think there's gambling allegation. Or if he's found guilty, well, obviously, if he's found guilty, not going. But the allegation, I don't think that'll be the reason why. What would be the reason why is why it didn't take Man City so long to reach out to them? That is a question more to me because why Man City wait until the end of the transfer window, knowing Declan Rice is gone. We all know Declan Rice is gone from January last year. Yeah. So why Man City never pursue Paqueta from the end of the season?
Yeah.
So if it doesn't go through, I don't think it has anything to do with the allegation unless he is found guilty.
Huge valuation for on his by West Ham. Huge valuation. They've requiring a lot for his services. Junior Makuguma, we had any final comments that you want to say? Any players that you're looking forward to see move this coming week, family? Any players that you're looking forward to?
Harry Maguire, Fred got already. McTominay, Dean Henderson, Lukaku. The Lukaku saga not done yet. Who else out there that I like to say? Who else? There's gotta be somebody else out there right now. The state of the window.
We have to think about that one.
From a high profile team.
Real Madrid need a striker. Real Madrid need.
Oh yes. And Chouamini might be the odd man out.
And he might be the odd man out. He might
for them to get the striker.
And Chelsea still need to resolve this Romelu Lukaku situation because football family, you can connect with us on Instagram at Ballchat Podcast. We're on Twitter at Ballchat1. We're on Facebook at Ballchat. Congrats to Spain. La Roja victorious in the Women's World Cup. I think Hermosa said in a post-match interview, somos campeones del puta mundo. Or del puto
It's America's bad word.
Yeah. Champions of the effing world. So you don't know, Junior. Congrats. Feliz Ciudadanos to the Spanish team. Spanish ladies. Yo, engineer, we are now. Big up to the listeners and thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe and smash the like button.
Next week again.
All right.